Welcome back to Anime Rapper Reacts, where I, an anime rapper, react to anime that I want to watch. And I think I got the intro down by now. Especially for series that I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a song about. Maybe I could do something with this series, but I'll think about it. I'll definitely think about it. We're here. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Rewatching episodes 4 and 5 of Witch Hat Atelier. Now, you may be asking, Duofri3nd, why are you rewatching these episodes? I thought you said that these were going to be 100% blind. All the series that you watch are going to be 100% blind. First off, with Witch Hat, I read the first volume of the manga, so checkmate. But other than that, I may have had some technical difficulties with the last 2 episodes and also 1 episode of ReZero, where my mic audio, for some reason, my interface fucked up. I don't know what the hell happened. I had to unplug the whole thing to stop the buzzing, but it's fine now. We've resolved the issue and we're good. But as a result, I have to redo 2 entire episodes of Witch Hat and 1 episode of ReZero. That includes the discussion. In which, for a Witch Hat opening to episode 4, the Witch Hat reaction, I had a banger of a discussion, which I'm going to bring back. Okay, so Witch Hat Atelier I've described as Harry Potter but good. As someone who has been a Harry Potter fan for an entire decade now. Has it been an entire decade? No. Nah, it's almost an entire decade. About 9 years I've been a Harry Potter fan. I've read the series when I was in 7th grade in middle school, when a teacher let me borrow their copy when I was I had a free period. I was, everyone else was doing a test, I think, and then I went to go. They told the people who weren't taking the test or who had already taken it to go to this lady's class, and she was very nice. I don't remember her name, but she was very sweet. I had started reading the first Harry Potter book because I was like, I have nothing else to do. I don't have my 3DS with me. I don't have my phone. I don't. There's nothing in my backpack that I particularly care about. I hadn't checked out any books that week, I guess. So I had started reading the first Harry Potter book, and I loved it. It was great. It was very fun, very wistful, very mystical, full of whimsy. 10 years later, I am a staunch Harry Potter hater. It's come with a great deal of nuance and what's the word? Nuance and deconstruction is probably the word I'm thinking of. Deconstruction, criticism of Joanne's work, Miss J.K. Rowling, if that's even your real name, which I don't think it is. Is Rowling actually her name? Joanne Rowling? Is that it? I don't fucking know her name. J.K. Yeah, but Miss Joanne over here, she came out on Twitter as being a dickhead, a massive dickhead and I'm using that as a shorthand for me saying that she is a transphobic asshole. More than that, there's regular transphobia, and there's what J.K. Rowling is, which she's a TERF, which is being transphobic to the point of being misogynistic as well. You're not helping women by tearing down trans people, Joanne. Think of the kids. Think of the kids, Joanne. You're just being mean. And we can see a pattern of that when you go through her books. You take in her narrative, right? Often in her prose as the narrator. This isn't Harry's thoughts. This isn't another character thinking. The narrator isn't in the story. This is just Joanne. she'll just be mean to characters for no reason. Specifically, Dudley. I'm going to use Dudley as an example of this as someone who is. Let me not mince words. I'm fat, right? I'm fat. The last time I weighed myself, I was pushing 272, right? It's pretty hefty. I do work out sometimes just to take a little bit of the weight off. Feel the sweat, get a little hyped up. Just let out. I'm fat, right? I can appreciate that. Joanne, she didn't need to write so much of being mean to Dudley. It just sounds like Joanne herself is bullying this character. Describing him as being the weight of a killer whale, being whiter than he is tall. Wider, not whiter. Wider than he is tall. It's very interesting for Joanne to have put that to paper. You'd think an editor would catch this, but no. The entire book series is riddled with mean-spirited stuff like this. Harry and Ron make fun of Hermione for being smart, for being bookish, which a lot of people who would have read this series were the bookish, smart, nerdy kids. Anyway, so you're just making fun of your demographic, Joanne. Then there's, can I think of another example? Oh, her attempt at trying to make an allegory to AIDS and HIV with werewolfism. We can get away with Lupin. We can get away with Lupin is like all right with this. The metaphor isn't tainted with him. There's no reason for him not to have taken his potion before the full moon happened, but still, he was pretty all right for what it was. And then we get to Fenrir Greyback, a werewolf who goes out of his way to try and infect people, and specifically targets children. Is that really how we want to portray the AIDS HIV metaphor? I don't think that really works. Joanne, pardon me, my voice. I don't know what happened. There's something on my throat. But let me get on to why I'm comparing this series to Harry Potter in the first place. Harry Potter, the main character, is not curious. He's very incurious about the world, and I had never noticed this. When people would bring up criticism about Harry being kind of what you call it, kind of flat as a character, and I was like, no, what are you talking about? Harry has so many dimensions. That's mostly because I was relating back to Harry in the movie. I didn't particularly like Harry, but I liked Daniel Radcliffe's portrayal of Harry, which is excellent. Daniel Radcliffe is excellent. Because a bit of a tangent that goes with other characters in the series. I don't particularly like Snape in the books, but I love Severus Snape. When I say Snape is my goat, I'm talking about Alan Rickman as Snape. Anyway, tangent over. Harry Potter as a character, he's very incurious about learning magic. Usually whenever something cool happens and you can learn to do that cool thing, you would want to be like, oh, I want to do that. As a creative, that's just how I am. I want to do things that look cool to me. I want to take up boxing for years because I like how boxing looks. The style is very interesting to look at. And maybe I will. Maybe whenever I do get my car and I can do actual hobbies and shit, I'll take up some boxing just for fun. I want to draw. I've been learning to draw for a while. I've barely made any progress, but just mostly just don't have the motivation for that. But I'll get back to it. I make music. I literally do music all the time, and I'm doing this reaction channel because I was inspired by Tia to react to anime like this. When Harry sees a cool spell, He's just like, wow, that's a cool spell, and he moves on like nothing happened. He doesn't want to learn anything about how it works. He doesn't care about how the world works. He doesn't care about how things connect together. He doesn't care about learning about how spells interact with each other. Comparing this to Witch Head Atelier, comparing this to the Owl House, comparing this to there's another one I'm thinking of, but I don't have it. Fuck it, I'm just gonna put My Hero here because My Hero works for this kind of metaphor. They're curious about their world, and they want to be able to do the things that they think are wonderful. That's a lot more interesting to me now as an adult than seeing Harry just waltz through the world, not really caring about anything, just wanting to do sports and stuff, and then become a wizard cop at the end of the story. At the end of the day, the world building it is not fleshed out enough because Harry doesn't care to know, and Harry doesn't care to know because Joanne doesn't care to write it. Compared to this series, where people are given, where characters are given the tools and the time and place to be able to create spells, to let me think, be able to create spells, to experiment on their own, and given those tools in the story, people in our world are able to make their own spells using those components. Harry Potter isn't doing that. Harry Potter doesn't even know how to make his own spell. Because it's not explained, because Joanne doesn't care about that either. But this author of this story specifically cares a lot. The author for My Hero cares a lot about superheroes and how superpowers would interact with each other in fights. You can tell. When in the Owl House, which I do know that the creator of the Owl House is friends with the creator of Witch Hat. When the Owl House does their stuff, you can really tell that they care about making the world fleshed out and stuff as well. Doing just small character beats is very interesting to see. I'm kind of rambling on. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I think y'all understand what I'm trying to say here, in that when I say a Harry Potter book good, I mean that the characters want to interact with the world and the author wants to create the world for the characters to interact with. Specifically, there is an outside element to the series because it's not just about the story, it's about the fans as well. The fans will want to do something with your story if you give them the room to do it. I've never heard of people creating spells in the Harry Potter fandom. I'll see people try and rewrite the series to make it good, and they've added stuff like that. I can't remember the YouTuber, but they're doing a series on this, and I've been listening to their stuff while I'm at work, and their retelling of the series is it's exactly how I remember it in my head while I was reading the series, but it's just better. It's how I remember the series being instead of how it actually is, which it is filled with cracks. But I think I'm running out of steam of stuff to say. I'm sorry for going on an entire long ass tangent, ranting about J.K. Rowling and why Harry Potter has failed me, which it has. I think I just want to get into the episode. Yeah. Anyway, Coco is curious about the world, and that's why I like it, because as someone who is also curious about wanting to learn about stuff, this is a lot more interesting to me than Harry Potter is now. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Okay, in this essay, no. Let's go ahead and start the episode. Yeah, I think I do have a schedule I want to go for. I got the next ReZero episode coming out tomorrow on a Sunday. Those episodes will be going out on Sundays. I think I'm going to put these episodes up on Tuesdays. I'm going to schedule these out just so I can have these out whenever I need, whenever they just need to go up. So these will go out on Tuesdays. Um, There'll be the third series I'm going to do soon, which I might not record today, but the next series I'm going to record, um, which is Sentenced to be a Hero. I've said this in the ReZero reactions. Sentenced to be a Hero episodes are going to be going up on. I think I'm going to put those up on Thursdays. Sentenced to be a Hero should be going up on Thursdays, and this series will be going up on Tuesdays. So yeah. So I hope y'all have a happy Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get this episode started now. Timer-based reaction, which means you take your copy and sync up with mine. When I hit play, you hit play, and it's synced up. I'm not distributing any copies. I'm not distributing any copies. Copyright free. Yada yada. Let's just no, hold on. What am I forgetting? Picture down below. I'm watching a dub. If you want to sync up, if you don't want to sync up, but you want to watch the picture version, and you don't want to watch dub, tough cookies. Let's go ahead and get into this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Water. Earth. Is it wind or air specifically? I don't remember. Levitation is a different thing. Flame. Primary tetrad. Coco space. Kifri. The brush buddy. Tetia. I'm saying their names just so I remember. It's roll call for me. I'm bad with names, so I got to do this. I've read the entirety of 100 Girlfriends. Do you think I'd be better at names? Thank you, Tetia. It still gets me. What? I love his voice. Stationary. Yes, sir. I already need more water. It's because I ranted for 15 minutes. Bum, ba, na, 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 na. What did that remind me of? The image of Coco holding the book and like doing that. Well, it reminds me of a painting. I don't remember the name of the painting. genuinely just so beautiful. This series is so good looking. Ah, damn it. I wish I didn't have technical difficulties because I could have been watching the next couple episodes by now. We're on episode 7. I'm 2 episodes behind. It's crazy. Let me close this flake and it's distracting me. I should buy a notebook so I can keep notes on this series. So pretty. I don't know why. When I started reading this series, I thought like being a witch was like a little bit more exclusive than this, but like never mind. It makes sense that it's all this. I really do like a God's voice in dub, but I feel like it's a little bit more mature, a little bit more mature than what I would think. Maybe that's intentional. She's supposed to sound like she's trying to push out being more mature than what she actually is. Possibly. I need a shave. Yeah, that's so cool. You know, honestly, it does feel watching it again does feel different because I was tired from work. I was tired from work. I just got home from a shift the last time I watched this, and I also already watched an entire ReZero episode before this, so I was noticing things as well. But yeah, it's so pretty. I keep saying it about the series, but it's so gorgeous. I really like how they use the accents. You don't usually get this in anime. They did this in Metaphor, which Metaphor is actually you also should play Metaphor. They did this with Metaphor with how they had different characters had different accents to show off their personality. It was excellent. No exceptions. Come on, Coco. Come along, night. The accent can use well, my accent can use to work too. Let me not. Let me not. Let me not. I don't know. I'm just bad with accents. That it sounds a little shonky, but I think he's just pushing it out. Locked in. Pure ink. So cool. It's really cool to think about stuff like that. I think I'll hit this more in the discussion. Riche. I didn't say Riche. I forgot about her. Once. Fresh ink. Straight from the let's say the vine for the branch. That's it. The tree, it doesn't matter. Honestly, I think I could try a hefty wand. That might work for me. I've never tried a weighted pencil. I think my hands would need the weight a little bit. Not like actually weighted. You know what I mean. Like a thicker. I got big hands. I need a thick pencil. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what I'm talking about. Fucking bucket it. Tetia, what's going on? She's so proper. It's horrible. Fucking hawking it. She's going. Get after it, Coco. Oh Lord. My Odo Royal is over there. I want to fidget with something. I'm feeling a little antsy on this one. Holy shit. Knowing what happens right here is already giving me agita. This is so crazy to look at. The brush buddy's gone. I love her voice. Yeah. Yep. 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 That was a good scream. Her voice. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of. There's kind of a dragon. It's kind of a big old dragon here. Okay, this is where the first volume of the manga stops. That face was really good. That was almost what I chose for the thumbnail, but I wanted the dragon in the thumbnail. We love you, Keyfree. I love the accent work right there with a mask that looked like an eyeball. An eyeball. I'll work on the accent. It'll get better over time. I really like that one. Yeah. Always maintain eye contact. Oh shit! It looks so cool. That is a 2D dragon. We are absolutely fucked. There's not a single drop of CGI on that dragon. Excellent. Fire spell. Absolutely beautiful looking. That was really nice. Ooh, nice. Mm. That one makes sense. That's really cool. That end. Probably not. I feel that one. I feel that one a lot. I feel like my eyes are really big right now. I don't know. I'm it's because I'm focusing. We got to use the Deku Tech right here. Mm-hmm. I fucking love Riche. She's so cute. I was like, this is a reason to bull crash out. It's about to get real unreasonable in a second, though. Right there. Sheesh. Damn. Damn. It's bad. It's bad. Oh no. No. My girl Riche. Nothing. If she's absolutely nothing but locked in. Absolutely nothing but locked in. Come on. Come on. 13-year-olds, man. You know how it is. I'm pretty sure I might have been worse. I just didn't have the outlet to be like that. I definitely thought some worse shit in my head. Come on, Coco. It'll be okay. Oh, excuse me. It's like 11 right now. Oh, man. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The brush buddy, which is so cute. I cannot wait for them to name this thing. I need a name right now. I don't want to come up with a name because whenever they do come up with a name, I'm gonna be like, it's not as good as mine. We got this beautiful outro. Let me just close my eyes and listen. Just gotta absorb it. Oh, sorry. Glorious. That song is just fucking beautiful, man. That song is just fucking beautiful. God, I love how untreated those vocals sound. Usually, whenever you have, music you would hear like mainstream kind of stuff, it's treated with auto tune at least a little bit to smooth over some small things like notes wavering, but just just having that go the vocals go untreated at least a little bit for that, and you can just hear the imperfections. Oh, absolutely glorious. It makes the song feel more real, making it more raw, brings out more emotion from it. And definitely I definitely did feel that from the singer on this. I just fucking love music, man. It's so interesting to see stuff like this, I'm here to appreciate an anime, for its art and animation, and I'm here listening to the music, being like, this is like almost the best part of the episode for me. And oh god, it's gorgeous. Anyway, there's a point I wanted to make here. Yeah, the with the tree, be able to make ink, it makes me think about, maybe the tail is real. Maybe the tail is real, or maybe it's not. If the tail is real, we don't need to speculate on how they figure out how magic was done, right? But if it's not real, it gets me thinking. I've often thought about how people came to realize certain practices in cooking. How did we realize that you need to put eggs in something to be able to bake it? How did we realize how yeast works? Trial and error, probably. How did we get to putting the diseased branches, boiling them off in water, and then searing all the, then steaming all the water out? How did we get to this? Probably trial and error, maybe, or the tree thing is real. The tree, like the story of the tree. Excuse me, that was rude as hell. Oh my. Pardon me, that was bad. If the thing with the tree is real, we don't have to worry about going through all the trial and error of figuring out magic. But even then, even after you have the ink and such, how does one figure out, well, this is a fire rune, and then we close it, and then this is all the stuff that makes the fire float and stuff? How does one get from that point back to the ink? How does one get from there and back? It's really interesting to think about stuff like that. I don't have an answer. It's just cool. It's just cool. The series makes me think a lot. This series makes me think. Oh man. Do I have anything else to say? But the brush buddy, Reach nothing but locked in. Tetia the fucking goat. The fucking dragon. This dragon looks so fucking cool. It reminds me of something. I fought a dragon in a video game that looks like this. I think maybe. No. I know what it is. My Baldur's Gate character kind of has the same crest looking pattern, and they're also blue. I love Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 is really good. Never finished it, but it's really good. We got the crash out, the Deku technique. We see the seal here, and then the animators lock the fuck in. Got the crash out. It's almost reasonable. Maybe you shouldn't have talked about her mom, but at the same time, we might fucking die by dragon because you chased a witch with a brimmed cap. I don't fucking know. I want to be like, I really do want to side with Coco, and I also do want to side with the god. But like as an outside observer, I don't know. They're just children, man. either, but like both sides can be wrong and right, I guess. There's some nuance to stuff. I thought about this recently while I was at work. You know, the world isn't black and white, but the world isn't always gray as well. Sometimes there is black, sometimes there is white. You just need to figure out which part is gray, which one's black, and which one's white. You know what I mean? But yeah, I got she's like 13, and then we had the fucking the teleport thing. My boy's fucking bucking it. It's like, girls, I'm going to save you. Yeah, the excellent fucking ending. No, no, no. Let me not. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough for this episode. Let me go ahead and put the next episode on, and then we'll continue on from there. We'll reset the timer. Yeah. I'll pause real quick, and we'll refill my water bottle. We'll be right back. Hi. It's Duofri3rd. So I might have hit pause on the entire recording of episode 5. So you're not getting a recording of episode 5. We're just gonna skip straight to the discussion. So where I last left off, where is it? Yeah, okay. Where I last left off, I was discussing this part right here from what it got says.
Dreams are all well and good, but you can't escape reality.
The Agat haters almost had me. The Agat haters almost got me to their side from this line. I'm a big fan of dreams. After I watched One Piece, watched. Why did I say watched? After I read One Piece, because I read the manga. You should read the manga for One Piece. If you care about the pacing, you should read the manga. And if you really don't want to read the manga that bad, wait until next year's February for the remake to come out. Come on, man. It's that simple. Anyway, One Piece is all about dreams. And that has influenced my life in ways I can't possibly say here because it's so, what should we call it? It's so influential on my life. It's basically everything, right? I do have dreams of making it big as an artist. Well, not like big, just having an audience, like an audience that stays. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to, how do you say, touch the hearts of the people. Kind of just be, your everyman. It doesn't really matter what I do. I just want to create stuff, and people to praise me. It's a little conceited, might be a little narcissistic, but I've always wanted that. It always nice to have some type of reassurance that what you're doing is good. That's always been my dream, to just have people like me, essentially. I just want people to like me, to like what I do, to like what I create, stuff like that. And yeah, a thing I've said recently about dreams, and I got kind of brings on my point of reality only exists because of dreams. Everything good that has happened, someone else dreamed of it first. And I do like to think about that a lot because the intentions of people kind of override some things for me. Sometimes whenever I do hear that like an author intended for certain things to be the way they are in a show, that kind of overwrites my feeling about it. It's like, oh, it's intentional. Okay, it should be like this. And if it's like that, and they did it like this, and it conveys what the author was trying to convey, that's good. There's probably some nuance to that, but my nuanced take is that sometimes nuance is too nuanced. You need to feel stuff out sometimes, just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm kind of ready to wrap up recording a little bit, but I do want to give y'all a discussion because you're not getting the episode, and it's so unfortunate that you guys don't get the episode. You don't even get the picture version. Yeah, you get episode 4 and then not 5. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I really did like this episode. Are there any other points I want to bring out? I might want to talk on the visual of them all splitting up whenever they're in cover. This visual kind of, I don't know why this is speaking to me. Them separating. It's artistic. It's artistic, but I'm not sure what emotion this is conveying to me. Let me think. Let me think. There's an air of solitude to it. Even when you're together, you can be lonely. Everyone's off in their own little world, thinking about their own stuff all the time. So, this kind of conveys that kind of image for me. Maybe there's some other aspect I'm not thinking of. I don't know why my first thought was. I don't know why my first thought was the feeling of going through puberty. Everyone's off in their own little world. It kind of ties back to this. You think your problems are the only one that exists because you're the only frame of reference you have. You literally cannot feel the same way anyone else feels about something. That's interesting to think about as well. Take shy every time I say it. It's interesting to think about something. Anyway, don't do that. You might die. This is very pretty to look at. My girl Coco. I'm so paternal over Coco right now. Coco is giving me baby fever, but for like I've got baby fever before. When I watched Bluey, I was getting baby fever for like the preschool to kindergarten age, maybe first grade is what I was thinking of. Having your baby old enough to where you can like play around with them, and that they're starting to grow into their personality and stuff like that. That's very alluring. I don't really intend to have a baby. I don't know why I'm thinking about this like that. I'm very wistful for no reason. But this is kind of making me yearn for that teenage kind of zest of life where it's like you're trying to figure out what you are as a person, and seeing that unfold and where your personality takes you from that point on to becoming an adult. And that's really interesting to think about. I've never even considered having a child. I've never even considered having a child before. I'm getting baby fever. I'm feeling paternal instincts towards you specifically, Coco. Maybe Riche as well. Fuck it. All of them. I've adopted all of them. I'm key free. I'm key free now. Yeah, like this shit is so cool to think about. The series really does make me want to draw. This scene specifically, I did talk about this in the episode. This scene where it's like, whenever I do draw, there's a lot of chicken scratch. I try not to do it. I try to be more thoughtful with my lines, but never really works out. Even when I'm doing a circle, I will chicken scratch out the circle. Ooh, sheesh. Pardon me. Yeah, I will chicken scratch out the circle, and it's straight. It's not straight. It's circular. It's pretty decent circle, but it's a little thick. A little thick. You have to erase a little bit of that whenever you do the whenever you do the facial features and such. But yeah, this technique, it had never worked for me, but I'll maybe try it again the next time I draw, which will not be tonight. I'm going to bed immediately after this. I have a sleep schedule to keep up. I work at 6 in the goddamn morning. Like I'm thankful I don't have work tomorrow, cause cause my I'm going to be going to sleep at damn near 12. So I just had to check to make sure. I just got a little paranoid. I had to check to make sure that they weren't calling me like, "Hey Dante, can you come in tomorrow?" That's gonna be a no, dog. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. But anyway, um, yeah. But this technique, I'm gonna have to try it sometime soon. I need to work on my shapes. God, I've like I want to learn to draw, but fucking like learning to draw boxes and shit sounds boring as fuck. It sounds boring as fuck. I don't want to put in the work to get good at drawing, but I do want to learn how to draw and put in the work to get good at it at the same time. But I find this issue in a lot of stuff. I do, you know. I've just earlier I was playing Stardew, and you know I've been trying to get into Stardew for a while, and like I just do not know how to let myself have fun with it. You know, I want to optimize a little bit. I do want to optimize a little bit, but at the same time, Stardew is just a game where like you just have to go, you just have to do it, and that game kind of makes me a little existential because like just like time exists, and like this game could go on for years, like literal years. There's dates and time in this game, and that's scary. That's scary to me. It's fucking terrifying. You know, just even in a video game, it feels like I'm just like sitting there doing nothing. Sometimes, you know, in the game, I went to sleep at like 5:20 because I didn't really feel like doing anything else. I just wanted to reset the day. You know, I didn't really feel like going out and talking to the people in the town either. You know, going out and walking, so wasting more time to go out and walk out to the town. And I just went to sleep at like 5:20, and I still felt like that was wrong to do, even though I didn't want to do anything else. I should just be able to let myself do that, but I can't let myself relax, and let the game play for itself. You know what I mean? You know, it's it's giving me existential crisis thinking about time passing in the game, not making use of the entirety of the day. You know, just like real life, just like what I do, and that also gives me anxiety thinking about how my time isn't being spent very well. But at the same time, I am 22 years old. I work at a fast food joint, and my last paycheck was $280. What am I supposed to do? I just had to put my nose down and just do it. You know, eventually I'll make it out. That's what I have to think about. You know, and it's kind of the same stuff whenever I do music. You know, I have hundreds of songs written down in my notepad and my Google Docs that are just not going to come out. I have a couple songs right now on my FL Studio saves that like probably won't see the light of day, and it's just like it feels like, you know, I should be doing something with those, but at the same time, what am I supposed to be doing with those failed projects, those stuff that didn't work out? You know, I didn't have the right vibe for the character, I didn't have the right vibe for the series, I didn't know what the fuck I was rapping about when I started freestyling. What am I supposed to do with those? I could salvage those if I really wanted to, but do I care? I don't care about that. And if I don't care about it, why should I do it? And that loops back around to the learning art fundamentals. If I don't care about it, why should I do it? To art, those fundamentals are very important. Drawing boxes is very important. Being able to understand shape language is very important. There's a moment where it's supposed to click, or something like that, but it just does not reach me. It's clicked with like drawing eyes. I can draw eyes pretty decently. It's clicked a little bit with like doing master studies and like drawing out the whatchamacallit, the guidelines or whatever it's called. You know, to keep basic face shape alive. It's clicked for me. 3/4 view still gets me to this day. And people say that's the easiest part to draw. It's hard to draw face on, even though that's way easier for me. I just don't get it. It is. Maybe I will with more repetition, like God has said, but I don't know. I want to think back to when I started learning how to draw. I think it might have been because of Dragon Ball, specifically Dragon Ball Z Abridged, because that was my first exposure to the series. It's kind of embarrassing to admit that, but my first exposure to Dragon Ball was I watched a couple episodes of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and then I went back to watch OG Dragon Ball first. From then on. Right? Damn, I knocked over my headphones again. I started drawing a little bit from watching tutorials on how to draw the Dragon Ball art style. I started with the eyes, because that was the most striking part. And I still haven't moved on from being able to draw eyes really well. Not even really well, just pretty decently. You know, I should work on that. You know, my drawings, they're all right. My portraits are okay. I'm not going to disparage myself. My portraits are okay sometime. I can't do anything more than that. And I can work on that, but I don't know where to start. And that's always the problem. That's a pretty sizable discussion. Don't I have anything else to say? Yeah, them wanting to make sure the dragon isn't hurt, and then our boy Keyfree coming in and immediately smoking this dragon is very cool. You know, it goes to show that, like, he was very worried about the girls. He just wanted to make sure that they were safe. He wanted to make sure that all of them made it out safely. Especially after Agat was falling and about to be eaten by it. It makes sense. And then we get to Keyfree's moment right here. This face. I still absolutely trust him. I'm not wavering for a second. I absolutely trust him. If Keyfree says that the whatchamacallit. I don't know the name.
Back of this. It would be very helpful to me if I could know what the ink was made from. Would you investigate?
I see. The ink, eh?
And please, do not tell the Knights Morales about this.
Knights Morales. Don't tell the Knights Morales. Yeah, that, and then this face afterward. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I trust him. If he says don't tell the Knights Morales don't need to know. He's making me waver a little. This face is a little intense, but at the same time, I get it. I do. I don't know. Without knowing what the Knights Morales really are, I don't really have a reference to tie this back to on whether or not to trust them. He could be bugging. He could be bugging. But at the same time, I trust this man in my life. I don't know. I think that's enough for the discussion. I'm kind of tired. Yeah, I'm gonna take my dumb ass to bed. Y'all, please, if y'all enjoyed, like and subscribe. Please comment. Comments are always appreciated. I got my first comment a couple days ago. I didn't know. I don't check my YouTube studio that often because I don't get comments a lot. I got my first comment on this on the Rapper React series, and it was very nice to hear. Very nice to hear. So shouts out to the commenter, and yeah, please y'all like what y'all like. You know, uh, I like dreams. I like dreaming. You know, that's always what I've always had dreams. You know. Just protect your dream like it were your own child. And yeah, y'all, please take care. Bye bye.